Everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric and a continuing series, Sega Racing Retrospective, where we take a look at every single mainline arcade Sega racing game ever released and review it from a retrospective fashion. And today we're talking about the original OutRun 2, but I decided to have a little bit of fun and show it to you guys on the PlayStation 2 in 480p progressive mode in widescreen, because it is something you can do, and I figured every once in a while, if I could talk about a console version of one of these games that came out in arcades, it might be fun. Before you get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and that notification bell definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined to want to support the channel, you got a Patreon link down below as well. Now I will say the difference between OutRun 2 and OutRun 2 SP can be very confusing if you haven't been playing this series for a very long time. And it gets even weirder when you get to the console releases, because it's OutRun 2006 coast to coast. I understand that's confusing, because it's confusing even to say it. What you do need to know is the original OutRun 2 has 15 courses, OutRun 2 SP has 15 courses. They are completely different courses with completely different looks, turns, and lines for your racing. So when we're talking about OutRun 2, we're really talking about two different games, and since we already did the episode on SP, my preferred version of OutRun 2, of course we're going to talk about the original. Now while this is not running on the arcade release, the PlayStation 2 version is an absolutely outstanding version that runs at a pretty much consistent 60 frames a second, and that's all you really need for OutRun 2. Because this game is fast, it's fluid, the drifting mechanics are incredible, and I still say that this is the best racing game Sega has ever made. OutRun was amazing, OutRunners was even better, but OutRun 2 just takes the crown as some of the best gameplay Sega has ever developed. When you have a turn in this game, not like that one because I bumped, and you manage to drift through all of these traffic cars and get past your rival, the sensation of driving correctly is so good that it does not get rivaled by anything else. Combine that together with an immediate sense of speed and great graphics, and you can't go wrong. Drifting around this corner right here, coming out at the apex and just getting it a little bit wrong, I know I can go back and do a better job. This is the type of game, to see it from start to finish, it takes like 4.5 minutes, and that's why I'm not cutting, I'm showing you a full run in real time. The best part about that is you can continually go back and try over and over and over again to get better at your racing, and that is what you want out of an arcade game. Easy to pick up and play, hard to master, makes you want to come back for more and more. Because these drifts right here, and I haven't played the PlayStation 2 version for a bit, are not perfect. I could do better on the arcade version, but I want to come back to this and continue to play it, because weirdly I own it on the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox and the arcade, just kind of how much I love the game. But again, this is just Sega doing an amazing job at making something. That drift there, and then you switch back on it. Sure, I bumped that traffic, and that's part of the fun. You need to pick a line, and it's not just you racing against an opponent. You have all of these different cars running along with you. And I do love that they're relatively fast as well, because we're doing like 260 to 280 kilometers an hour, and traffic is almost keeping up with us. So I don't know where these highways are, but let me tell you, everybody is speeding, and it's a good thing there are not any cops around. But again, just from a graphical standpoint, I love all the diverse stages in OutRun 2, and while I might like OutRun 2 SP a little bit better with its more modern look as far as the art style is concerned, this is still an absolutely incredible game, and I love all the billboards on the side, even if some of them are for technology that was not in the Xbox or the PlayStation 2. Just kind of a fun little aside there. But you'll see the slip screen on the screen as well. You do need to worry about drafting in this game if you want to see the ending of it. To get to the end of the easy course, you'll probably have like 10 to 15 seconds if you're racing well to see the end. To get to the end of the hard course, you need to basically drive perfect the entire way. But that's what's so much fun, perfecting each course. Because it only takes 4.5 minutes to see the ending, you can get like 5 or 6 runs in an hour and really hone that driving line. This is pure arcade racing from start to finish. Sega was the master of doing arcade racing, and I believe this is their masterpiece. This is the best they ever did, and that is high praise, because Sega has so many amazing racing games that we've been talking about on this series. For me to say this is the best, it means I really love it. The other thing I love about OutRun 2 is the soundtrack, so go ahead and listen for like 45 seconds. I'll come back and talk more about the game.
I want to go ahead!
Just absolutely love the soundtrack to this game, but of course we did nothing but take lefts in the first round, so now we're going to do nothing but take rights, and that's going to put us on the hard course the entire way. But because the race only takes 4.5 minutes, you can pick your own preferred line through the game, and if you're feeling ambitious, you can play all 15 courses in a row as one long race. It'll take you like 17 minutes to complete if you are perfect. I will say that this port every once in a while does something a little bit strange that I haven't seen in the arcade. Watch this drift around this tanker truck. You're going to see that my car is in no way in contact with it, and then it gets sucked into that vehicle. It is rare that it happens, and I've never seen it on the arcade version, but every once in a while on the port something like that will happen, but it's so few and far between that honestly it doesn't really matter too much. But again, it's the drifting in this game that makes Outrun 2 so good. Even if I make a little bobble there, when you're getting around these corners and everything feels nice and smooth, it's a sense and accomplishment that no other racing game rivals in my opinion. But leave me a comment down below and you tell me what other game you think could rival Outrun 2, because I always love hearing what you think about these things. I am only one person. I have my favorites, and Outrun 2 and Outrun 2 SP are my favorites of anything Sega's ever done racing wise, but I'm sure you guys have different opinions. Maybe Scud Race is your favorite, maybe something from Namco is. Everyone gets a favorite. I love to hear them. But again, Sega is just the king of this genre, and I'm only showing you the arcade mode, but there's different challenge modes in this game. Now of course, because I'm showing you the console version, you can play the arcade original and it is going to look a little bit better, but it's only going to be in the visual department. This game is smooth, the control is great, if you have a wheel it's even better, and you can emulate it pretty much anywhere you want if you don't want to deal with original hardware. It is just from start to finish that good, and if you've never played the game before, you 100% have to play it for me and report back and tell me what you think. You'll see I got stuck underneath that 18-wheeler again, and every once in a while it does weird things. Now the original version of this game that you're seeing here, all of the stages are going to feel a little bit older. We're through the desert, we're seeing the pyramids, where Outrun 2 SP, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description below if you haven't watched it yet, has a way more fresh, newer vibe. You're going through cities and such, and that's just kind of fun. You can play these games, you can see different things, and you can learn different races. And if you have Coast to Coast, you get both SP and the original Outrun 2 on the same disc. Now I will say, if you want to buy this game, and I've owned a copy for a long time, it is going to cost you a decent chunk of money. It's only going up in value, but I honestly think it's worth it. This is the type of game that I take off the shelf and play at least once a year for like a day or two. I'm always craving more Outrun 2, and that's the greatest sign of a game. If I've played it 50, 60, 70 times and every once in a while I get that itch to play a little bit more, that's how you know it's good. I'll probably be in my 50s and think to myself, I should play some Outrun 2. And hopefully by the time I'm in my 50s, Sega does us all a favor and gives us an Outrun 3, because this is a franchise that deserves to be revisited, and I do not know why Sega has not touched it. Give me a modern arcade release, give me a modern console release, I'll buy 2 copies just to make you happy. Outrun 2 is a rare game, and I'm not saying that it's a hard game to find as far as rarity is concerned. It is a rare game because it just does absolutely everything so well. I can't think of any negatives to give about this game or this port outside of a couple little bugs. But if you're playing the arcade original, I can't find fault with Outrun 2 the same way I can't find fault with Outrun SP. These games just make me happy. They're bright, they're colorful, they run fast, the music's great, and the driving and drifting are absolute perfection. And that is why this is my favorite Sega racing game of all time. I just have a smile from ear to ear every single time I'm playing it, and even if I haven't played it for 6 months, the minute I pick it back up, I am going to be hooked in for 3 to 4 hours trying to get through that 15 course run. That's always my goal when I put the game back in a console. I want to see all 15 courses in a row, and I want to finish, and I usually don't get up and walk away until I've done so. Sometimes it takes me half an hour, sometimes it takes me 4 hours, but I am having fun the entire way. And sometimes you just run out of time. You'll see here I'm almost to the finish line, and I come up just a little bit short. But all that does is make me hungry to go right back in and try again. When you lose, you know it's your fault, the timer is fair, and you want to go back and correct those mistakes. But don't forget, I've only shown you the hardest path and the easiest path. There are paths in between as well, and that's what's so much fun about this game. You get to decide how you want to play it, you get to decide the path you want to take, you get to learn all the courses, and you decide which line is best for you, because again, drifting around that corner, bumping my rival out of the way, and sliding into a new position is just spectacular. This drift here feels so damn good when you're doing it, and even though I come out a little bit too late, I know I can go back and correct that. But that's Outrun 2, the non-SP version. This is a 10 out of 10 Hall of Fame first ballot game for me. But leave me that comment down below and tell me what you think. I'll have more racing next Wednesday, and I'll have videos for the week as well. But yeah, Outrun 2, sheer perfection. Bye-bye.